and both pulls can be for Coastline.
So we're launching back into the game. We'll start off with LeStream's first ban, and it was a Dokkaebi ban, as you noted, and it is going to be exactly the same this time around. And unsurprisingly, Glaz will be taken off the board with Mira being another defender, and there's Maestro. So not particularly the best look for the defense here, losing two of their best tools without even getting to play a single round. That's going to impact LeStream right away. Good news for fans of LeStream. There's a very competent Echo player there and will likely work in conjunction with a smoke on your anchor play.
Yeah, that's the option you have, just in general with Siege. Mira is always usually going to be that big, massive target ban for nearly every map. Then you have a choice between, do you want to ban Maestro or do you want to ban Echo? Because they are a very similar operator there. The free armor, they have great guns alike. Both have Egghogs as well, can really hold down those long angles, fighting against the attackers. And also they have that kind of denial effect as well. Can really hinder any Glazes. That's maybe why we're seeing the Echo be allowed, is just in case Glaz was ever let through. That's why they decided to go for the Maestro. But then again, Echo provides you more with that intel, that plant denial a lot more, can relay information to any potential C4s from below, which, like I did say, is certainly going to be a bit of a thing in the near future. Looking at LeStream, they're not going to be bringing any Nitro cells to the table either, so no C4s from below. That could come in to hinder them, especially on a blue bar or a hookah, which, as we know, can be destroyed from that blue bar from below. That very common plant spot is always something that's going to be open.
Hookah's an interesting site because it's seen such a steady evolution since this map was introduced to competitive play. Hookah was, for a long period of time, the least favorite site. It saw a very limited pick rate, and then it's been having a bit of a resurgence, and I think it's because the reliance on bar below, a lot of teams have decided to invest more time in figuring out Hookah. As you mentioned, for the kitchen site, teams need to play with almost one anchor on that second floor. If you lose control of penthouse while defending kitchen, you're in bad shape. Very similar things here. Oh, Uno starting things off, and Magic will have a couple minutes to think about that one, as it's a spawn peek from the ACOG, and one of the best tools on the attacker's side in the Ying will be no more.
Another interesting thing about PACT, they have not just brought one hard breach, they've brought two. Sure, you can say Maverick isn't that good of a hard breacher, more of a glorified Thatcher in most circumstances, but still bringing the Thermite kind of shows that, yeah, we want to bring it just in case something does happen, like a penthouse. Maybe they've looked at LeStream and they've seen, oh yeah, they're actually not afraid of going for that much weaker bomb site. Bit of an engagement between Kendry and also Aces. We know how strong that man can be in his striking potential, and he does just that with the 416, eliminates Kendry with the headshot. Still trying to see if he can fight any more. A couple more shots rattle back and forth, and even Alfalma trying to get into the mix of things, but does get downed inside off that L corridor. Even Saves gets down, but picked right back up by the Maverick as the fight does continue on. Aces rotating his way in towards the luggage, seeing if he can pick off anybody in towards that VIP hall, which is exactly where PACT are trying to secure. They're not going to opt for that more drop down, try and take Aquarium. Alfalma gets picked up by the dock and eliminates. That's going to be Saves as well, gets Alfalma. Quick refrags coming out from PACT, but in the end, it comes to be LeStream coming out on top. Deep trying to see if he can pick one. Yes, he does. Hicks gets eliminated, and the Echo's off the board. Denial gone, and a 3 versus 2. Clutchable by PACT, but they're going to have to work for it.
There's a drone on Alfalma there, too, and just bad communication on behalf of PACT to not give that info over to the Maverick. So ends up costing them, but I was going to note how LeStream was being very greedy there, with Aces playing so long at the top of the stairs, and then Alfalma as well. Uno managed to bail both of them out with two very choice stim pistols, and, well, it's going to give his team a lot of work to do, especially with Deep falling now. Saves is still there with the R4C. He'll pick off Uno, like you said. LeStream being a little bit greedy on these engagements, just getting up into the face of PACT, but I mean, it's working out quite well. Lucky for them, before Uno had faltered, the Aces who would get brought back to full HP. He'll be tied in with Rise now. Pink is completely vacant. So it looks like Saves has full control, but does not hold on to that diffuser. Getting pinged away likely from the Yokai drone above. Diffuser is down in luggage. Oh, he'll get Rise, but Uno just needs to hide, or Aces just needs to hide. 2 seconds, running out of time, and Saves as fast as you are. Not able to do it. LeStream, a smart play there from Aces to just abandon ship.
Certainly that big pick from Uno really came in to bite the behind of PACT. You're losing that main pushing power. We talk about the operators, which can really make a difference, is going to be those Yings. Also going to be the Glaz, but Glaz is going to be banned. It's really that the operator that can do a lot of damage if left unattended. And certainly get rid of Ying, you eliminate Candelas. That would have been a living nightmare for Aces in that scenario. You know, the Candelas get thrown in behind that theater. You really need to run away as a Jaeger, because of course you cannot take that gunfight. We've seen how many times Ying can be so strong in those CQB environments. Moving on to the second bomb site. Going to be for LeStream. It will be that penthouse and theater. So this is the one which we were not expecting, and I'm sure this is probably why PACT are bringing those hard breachers, because they probably know, yeah, LeStream, they're not afraid to take one of those more harder bomb sites. Like you stated earlier, Parker, no mirror, which is going to make this bomb site a heck of a lot harder to actually defend. But they still have some pretty good tools. They have the Echo and also have the Valkyrie, so that intel from the Black Eyes can always be strong, can be them scattered about inside the bomb site, or even try and get them outside and find that early intel. Because as a team, if you want to try and attack in towards that penthouse and theater, you have two options. You try and play it slow, you try and push in towards VIP. If you get a camera in the DJ booth, you will be able to see that very early intel. You can then set up accordingly. Or there's those more aggressive teams. I would say G2 are one of those teams where they just want to drop the hatch, swing in through the double window, and go for that quick plant. We've seen teams do that so many times with Yings, with the Glazes. That's also another option that really LeStream have to be ready for, and I'm sure that's probably why they have the Legion to deny that quick early access.
I mean, you've also got the C4 usage that could come from below, but if you look at Uno's positioning, right now he's in Hall of Fame, so not really in a position for him to be able to rotate downward unless there was a possible impact grenade from Rise to get one of the hatches, which will allow Valkyrie to get underneath the site. Aces was looking for a spawn peak early on inside a Sunrise bar, and that looks like where he's going to grab one from. He's going to lose quite a bit of HP, but he takes out the Maverick, and Darius will be gone from action. This is the second round now where LeStream has given themselves quite a lot of breathing room in the first minute. It's going to be extended as it's Uno now jumping in to take out Deep. So two very early picks from LeStream, taking about 60 seconds for PACT to find themselves knocked on their heels.
And looking at it, PACT, they've lost their two hard breachers. They have no way to get into that VIP. The only options they have now is to either drop the hatch and basically go into a corridor of death, or they simply try and attack the backside, which is going to be even harder because Echo drones are still a thing. They're so strong. We do see a kill being picked up by PACT, at least gets them somewhere, as Legion will be gone. Aces off the board, a very big kill, but somebody else will be lurking. The Jaeger trying to get those refrags. This is where LeStream really come out on top, where they try and get these refrags as quickly as they can. You can see two players right beside each other. If someone falls, the refrag will be there, which is exactly what PACT is not doing. Alfama hears somebody, but no, doesn't have the gun skill to try and get that gun up as quick as he could. Kendrew pushes in, double kill from Kendrew. The man I said would try and do as much work as he could for PACT and is trying to look for a third. But no, the last two remaining members of LeStream will be found in the bomb site. Uno has that C4, and also Hicks has those yokai drones.
Not a ton of map control at the moment, though, for PACT, and that's the big issue with a minute to go. So they've managed to take the entire west side of that second floor, but if they don't have any investment down below, and Uno is able to get below, which for the time being it doesn't look like is going to be his priority at all, well, then this could be essentially a big problem for PACT, especially with the fact that both Saves and Magic are a little bit dinged up. Magic obviously more so. This won't take much for the MPX to finish off the IQ, but instead we'll find a target in Kendrew. So Uno grabbing his second kill to take out that Twitch. A great spray from Saves! Oh, through the wall. Goodbye, Uno. PACT in the driver's seat with just Hicks remaining. He's going to have those yokai drones up and likely has the intel and will go from below. He's going to rely on his teammates to ping where that plant might go down. But the diffuser isn't in the hands of PACT. Where are they going? They need to grab it. They're all out of time and trying to hunt yet again. LeStream just needs to keep one person alive to take the round.
It was on the roof. What? Oh, that's a bit of a heartbreak, I would say, for PACT. They finally looked as if they were set up to take that round, but no, they did not have the diffuser. And even, honestly, even if that diffuser was in the hands of LeStream, or PACT should I say, I still think LeStream would have took that. They had the yokai drones, Echo from below, easily can make use of the yokais with that burst, eliminates the fact of that diffuse going down. But then again, you know, IQ was still alive. It could have went either way, but nonetheless, still that round being taken by LeStream, and 2-0 on Coastline on a map which I said was attacker favored. Yeah, this is looking pretty scary at the moment for PACT.
Not to mention the fact that your 2 3-speeds that have that fragging potential in spades are the last 2 alive. It's not usually the way that a round will play out. Now, mind you, obviously this is strat dependent, but having an Ashe and IQ in positions where they're not able to capitalize off of a good entry. They're not able to capitalize off of what you see on a drone. They can't relay it to you effectively enough. It's not always a good thing to see an Ashe as one of the last alive, and that was now 2 rounds in a row where we saw that on behalf of Save. So maybe a bit more aggression here, especially to match what we've seen from LeStream. 2 rounds, both times LeStream able to grab a kill in the first 30 seconds. There was 2, in fact, in that previous round. That kind of aggression needs to go punished, because if it goes unpunished, you end up getting knocked off of your feet, essentially, and you can't entry with the same confidence. That's gonna eat you alive.
Sure, you can kind of give PACT a little bit of slack for maybe the first spawn peak. Maybe you're not expecting it straight off the bat, spawn peak coming out. But the second time it happens, you're kind of expecting to get over that rock and say, oh, yeah, they're going to spawn peak. Let's pre-fire windows, the most common runouts that you could think of. And that's how you get these very early punishments into LeStream. And once again, more aggression being played as already. Uno up close and personal inside of the bar, and Kendry also inside of a bar, but this time it will be the blue. Picks up one, but then straight away Hicks is there for the refrag. And that will be him going down, so that's Twitch off the board. Not really too much of a big impact. I'm quite surprised even Twitch is being brought, because there's no Mira either. Twitch
is a comfort pick, I would imagine, because the gadgets that you see on the stream side of things can be remedied by bringing an IQ, which we've now seen from PACT here with Magic on yet again. So you don't necessarily need it unless this is just a decision that, hey, we like her gun. Maybe we figure that the Twitch drone can possibly take out the Nokais or the black eye cams better. I don't know, but I would much prefer a better secondary breacher.
Where's this buck?
A Zofia, a buck, a sledge, something to fill that role. You know, Zofia with breaching charges is extremely common. You'll see a trade go off here with Saves and Hicks, and now, oh, deep, a great shot around the doorway onto Uno. Is just gonna leave Hicks here and PACT in good position to take their first round, and just missing all of Hicks. C4 in hand. He's one shot on pretty much any gun in the game. He's just gonna retreat to that hard wall.
This time, finally, PACT have realized, oh yeah, they're playing very off-site, very aggressive. Let's try and bring a little bit of aggression ourselves, and that's what we've seen Kendra do, get right in the face of LeStream. It got the early kills that they needed to do, and then really, everybody else from LeStream decided to peek as well. But as you can see, PACT, they won the 1 versus 1s, and that was really the decider in that matchup. And well, PACT, they get their first round on the board. Can they keep this going? They still have quite a few rounds to go yet until they get a chance on that defense, which maybe they may fare more likely with, because they have operators there like Echo, which I know that players on PACT certainly favor those more heavy ACOG angles. LeStream, they're going to be taking up that hookah lounge and Billard, so the first bomb site that they did have, they're going to be taking again. Can they, looking at it, do anything differently for PACT? Can they try and make sure that, first of all, they don't try and over-aggress and really play it as strategic as they can? Because still, you may think, oh yeah, coastline, you just kind of run in with your smoke. Still, you have to have that room clear, and that's really where you need to be really concise. Moving in towards the setup, more impacts going down, pretty common. I would imagine that we're going to have that same kind of roam game coming in from the players off the stream. No C4 from below still, so we've seen that they picked the Valkyrie to in a couple of rounds before, but not on the hookah lounge. Instead, they favor the castle to try and give that more denial, and of course to help the roam game that the stream are so up for.
Yeah. I mean, if you look now, this is going to be an opportunity for LeStream to possibly start things off good this time around. They got punished for that spawn peak in the previous round, and I think that was an early catalyst for the way that things were going to turn out. But LeStream is going to take 4 rounds now and just go for the early peak. There goes Saves. Say so long to your Ashe. So a bit of criticism that was leveled from me towards Saves in regards to that Ashe living a bit longer than anticipated. Well, you're not going to have to worry about the Ashe being the last one alive if he gets spawn peeked by aces. This is going to be yet another round that LeStream is able to get a kill within the first 30 seconds.
it's something that really can't be happening to your main entry fragger. You're losing that potential. If the Ash, the R4C can melt anybody in a gunfight, arguably the best gun in the game, maybe just behind the F2, but then again, Ash does have that free speed, which makes the gun even more deadly. Ace is getting a little bit frisky with the drones, having a bit of trouble there, but I'm sure that he'll try and pick it up as much as he can. Once again, these ACOGs are so predominantly played by LeStream. They're liking the dock, which did come in pretty handy the last round they had. It was a very clutch stim pistol coming in towards Alfama whenever he was down in the L corridor. Ace is stuck between a rock and a hard place. One person on his window, two people trying to aggress in towards that master bedroom. Legion Mine just slows things down a little bit more. This is all about the time waste, really, for Ace. It's not so much to get the kills, but just trying to see how long he can survive. Double kill coming in for Kendrew, eliminates both of the roamers. That's going to be a massive swing in favor of PACT, and with still a minute for it to go, this is plenty of time. We've seen how long it takes some teams to carry out a push and still do it successfully. Team Vitality, one that always springs to mind. At the moment, they're trying to aggress in towards the aquarium. This is going to be their kind of phase 2 setup, and their phase 2 is to eliminate whoever behind off that aquarium bar. And well, it's going to be Rise with the big old bad shotgun ready to pump anybody that tries to push on in. But still a minute to go. Plenty of utility for PACT. They have smoke grenades from the Jackal. They have the IQ scanner. A lot of things to make this push work.
I mean, the intel here for Rise is likely going to be if there's a goo mine in front of him. But the strategy that LeStream really employed here was the same one that we saw in the first take on Hookah, was that you have Aces and Alfama try to waste as much time as possible, and Uno tries to hold it all together. That's it. And then run for the hills the moment that diffuser gets dropped. So, PACT here, hitting that goo mine as mentioned. Oh, great kill from Kendrew as Hicks gets obliterated. Jackal completely blind, looking for two, but Rise a double kill. The smoke doing the work alongside the shotgun. Traded off by Magic onto Uno, so Rise doesn't have diffuser down, wanders into his own smoke, and Deep is there holding the flank. PACT will even things out, tying us up at 2-2, and a great steady comeback here, and good calls from PACT. They seem to have found their groove.
They are certainly a lot more of a slower paced team compared to LeStream. That certainly is the fact in this matchup of what we've seen so far. I finally believe that PACT have caught on to the kind of play style that LeStream are trying to play. Up close, in your face, try and waste as much time as they can. I would say that why not then bring the Valkyrie if you're LeStream? If you want to try and waste time, that's the perfect time to play potentially a Valkyrie or a Pulse below to try and C4 up and try to really eliminate that plant, which we have seen is a bit of a problem for PACT, is getting that diffuser down physically. Moving into a blue bar and Sunrise the first time. Let's see how well they can really cope with this. They are not bringing the Buck. They did have the Buck in the original lineup, but the 6th pick came out onto the Jackal. This can be either looked at two ways. They want to try and bait potentially LeStream and trying to hold upstairs as much as they can to try and deny access to that skeleton key that comes in and just completely ruins anybody who tries to play Anchor. But then again, Jackal, you have that room clear out with those Inox scans. And then you also have the sidearm shotgun, which can kind of be used as a substitute for the skeleton key. So you really have to look at it as more of a strategical option compared to the Buck. But then again, Buck has the needs as well. It's a bit of a 50-50. But if Kendrew is fragging with the C7E, then there's no need to take him off it.
The smoke that we usually see brought on Coastline is traditionally Dokkaebi, and I think a lot of teams have used Capitao as a substitute there. Jackal strikes me as more of a counter pick to the way that LeStream has been playing, because we know that Aces and Alfama to a certain extent have been wasting a lot of time. Uno has on a couple rounds as well. So LeStream investing quite heavily in that offsite presence that will tie up PACT. Now, if you bring a Jackal, it makes your job a lot easier. Of course, as you mentioned, that sidearm shotgun can be very important. Once again, just looking in towards the action here, Rise is getting a kill in the first 40 seconds this time. So this LeStream trend is holding. Alfama gets found, the castle no more, as that's Darius getting kill number 1 for PACT to level us back at a 4v4. Very, very quick going. Though PACT will confront both double reinforced walls as well as a castle barricade just by service and delivery.
This is finally where their Maverick pick can come into big effect. Of course, you have the castle barricade you can not only open, but also the reinforced wall. However, a quick peek comes in and another player PACT will fall, as that Maverick wall actually was peeked by the player inside of the kitchen. Quite unfortunate timing for the players of PACT. They wanted to try and push their way in through kitchen with that Thermite charge, but Kendra just taking the initiative. Thinks that it's going to be free for him to basically walk down this main corridor, and that's exactly what he tries to do. But no, the camera tags him out, and even bullets rattle on through the destructible walls. Kendrick has the ACOG, more sprays come in, but no, does not land the shots against Hicks. Has the SMG-11, can do some real big damage at those longer ranges. And this is great time wasting at the moment from LeStream. They have the man advantage, they still have players roaming about. Not anymore as Uno drops to his death in towards the courtyard, and Kendry will be there to pick up the pieces with a minute to go. Smokes in hand for LeStream, Echo drones as well. This is certainly in favor of LeStream.
The real question is, where is Aces right now? He's been completely absent from every bit of action, and there he is on a flank, just inside a luggage. He can hold a good position inside a courtyard, getting the pings that are required for him to get any of the push from the attackers before it arrives. Both Kendra and Magic low on HP means that Dariush is the only one with any real fight here if it comes to a 1v1 engagement, because the others will die immediately. 30 seconds, the smoke takes a little bit of damage, gets found. Rise with his third kill. He's every single one for LeStream so far. Is Darius flirting with the idea of possibly pushing in, but knows that there's an open hole above him. There's Rise, and Hicks will shut down the ace. It's a 4K from the Belgian, and LeStream will retake the lead.
Once again, that aggression come in to really hurt PACT. That very aggressive peek coming in towards that kitchen hole that was made by the Maverick really come in to crush PACT. I would have liked to see more coordination, which was really the downside of PACT. I'm surprised that they didn't have a constant tag, knowing exactly where that player inside kitchen was. Maybe the mute jammers could have been the issue. We're seeing no Thatcher on the side of PACT, so that may be an issue that they may want to try and fix for their potential last round. But because that was the blue bar, there's not going to be any mute again for Uno, because that was only for that particular strategy. Final one up for the players of LeStream will be the Hookah Lounge and also the Billard. So this is going to be one of their more commonly played bomb sites. I'm pretty sure they've played it. This is their third time out of the 6. And that's another thing which I like about the new format, where you now have 6 rounds to go to. Typically, teams could get away with only playing 2 bomb sites. But sure, you may lose your third one, but then you can always go back. Because of the 6, you are almost now forced to at least have a good third bomb site. You cannot just rely on winning 2 bomb sites every single time. And that's certainly what we're seeing coming out from LeStream. They have played every single bomb site, but then again, it is Coastline, where every single bomb site is different. Maybe a map like Oregon, which is a lot more harder and maybe even border to a stretch, then that's where, yeah, kind of problems happen. But for maps like Coastline, Consulate, even Clubhouse, nearly every single bomb site is defendable.
Yeah, 7 rounds is what's required for a victory now. So, I mean, even if you win, let's use Oregon as an example. As a defender, you're more likely to win Laundry Supply downstairs and then, you know, Kid Storms upstairs than the other 2 sites of both Kitchen and Tower. But because it's now 6 rounds on defense, you have to go to either Tower or Kitchen twice, providing you win the other sites. So that is obviously an issue for defenders, but I mean, I think it works well in the rotation. It's something that teams wanted, and it was this feedback, once again, that prompted these changes here. However, on Coastline, looks like we might actually hit the very first round that we don't see a kill in the first minute of action. Aces so close. He knows that there's somebody playing on Rappel just by the main stairs. It's Kendrew, unbeknownst to Aces if he doesn't have that information. But underneath the window, there lays a body. Aces gets found out though. Kendrew, a big opportunity for a pick, and that is great for PACT to start off this round.
Once again, the exact same angle that killed Aces last time was the Jackal on the window. I'm surprised they let that happen twice in a row. They should have probably known, yeah, Jackal goes there to try and get those kind of cut-off picks, doesn't allow Aces to roam as freely as he would like. This is certainly a more different strategy than what we have seen PACT do previously, where they want to try and force their way in towards VIP. This is more looking as if they want to just force their way in towards Aquarium. I say that, but no, deep. The lone Thermite picks up that kill onto Alfama once again inside of that corridor, has been playing very aggressive. Even more shots come in from that drone hole. Thermite charge gets opened up. This is the beachhead that really establishes PACT in the more dominant position. That's a great reinforcement wall to open up as it cuts off any kind of rotates towards that Aquarium and also towards the Billards. Hicks and also Rise inside off that Aquarium picks up 1 kill for their troubles, but still the advantage in favor of PACT. But like we seen last time, Rise can do a lot of damage behind this bar.
He's primed and ready yet again, but he cannot connect enough on the Darius. Downs him, traded off by Uno falling off screen. Right now, LeStream just scrambling to reposition. It's a 2v3 for the time being, as PACT will have to try and equalize the final round of defense here for LeStream. Still plenty of time left for the attackers, holding that numbers advantage. But LeStream going with a strange rotate. They've lost complete control of site. Diffuser goes down on behalf of PACT. Rise just inching his way up. He sees the Ash, but the SMG-11 is unwieldy at such close range. Cannot land the shots needed. It saves who gets credited with that kill. Now Hicks is here, but he's in a 1v3 with a soft wall right next to him, having to skirt around the impenetrable doorway. He sees one and lights him up, but can't go for the second as it's Deep, who ends up capitalizing with two bodies, spraying into Hicks at the same time. The first half is going to be a 3-3 split.
T5 just not having the damage per second that it needed to have in that scenario. Sure, a handy little SMG, but doesn't do as much damage compared to others. Moving on into now the halftime switch, where it will be PACT on the defense, and of course, LeStream then on their attacks, and this is where I start to worry for PACT, because LeStream, who we know are so much more aggressive on their attacks, they have players there like Aces, who was leading into that kind of break between Season 8 for the Paris Major. He was top fragger in the entirety of EU. Uno, a monster for Challenger League in terms of frags. You know, I've seen the guy go 16 kills in one map before. That's how good he really is, and if you put both of them together, then that is definitely a scary duo that PACT have to go up against. Alfama, of course, he's going to be on that more supportive role. I would have expected him to be more on that Thermite, but no, because we've talked about the hard breach isn't as necessary on particularly Coastline, then they're only going to opt for the Habana. So using that Thatcher is going to help them a lot more with getting rid of the Echo Drones. You can try and disable them before anything happens if your IQ does get killed off very early on, which is likely because it's Uno, who you're expecting to be that main fragger trying to push on in. PACT, they have a lot of ACOGs like I expected. The double French coming into play. Those ACOGs certainly can be used to hold those longer angles, and look at the setup coming in from PACT. They are all about these long angles. Basically what they're trying to set up is to deny access from the bomb without even being in the bomb site. This is a tactic which I've only seen a couple of times. It's very hard to perfect, but if they have the angles covered, they've practiced this plenty of times before and they know where to hit their shots, then yeah, this certainly can work, because it kind of forces the stream to play a much more different game plan than I'm sure what they were expecting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to bring the ACOGs, this is something that you see a lot on Bank, upstairs on CEO as well, is you need to position the site so that you can take maximum advantage of those guns. Now, Coastline has a number of natural sight lines that lend themselves quite well to long-range engagements. Think you're in the back of theater, oh, you're looking all the way in towards, you know, Hall of Fame, you're looking all the way in towards the bathroom doorway. You got the same thing in kitchen. If you blow out the wall, you can see in the courtyard and beyond. It really depends on the way that you structure it. As you mentioned, this is a good way for PACT to get those ACOGs in range of the attackers. Of course, you got the two thick boys in both Doc and Rook in the hands of PACT.
Why are you talking about me and Milosh, huh?
Okay, listen, they didn't even make it personal.
So yeah, certainly those two ACOGs can do a lot of heavy damage if those shots do hit. Headshot machines, usually that's where the MP5 really comes into great effect, and just the drones really for LeStream, they want to figure out where these positions are played. Where Darius is, it's very susceptible to a potential frag grenade, which we do know there is going to be at least one set of frag grenades being brought by LeStream, Buck being brought into the lineup, and no ADSs from the Jaeger, because Jaeger's not even there, so that could cause a lot of problems whenever those free frag grenades on these very common spots can be such an issue. First kill, however, comes in the form of saves, and another one for PACT, as Darius will be there, but the quick refrag comes in. So LeStream, they are going to be at the back foot, and look, even Deep from below, so much setup that really PACT have invested. They have played this probably one of the most complicated ways you could, but it's working.
It goes to show why they have the comfort in this to pick this map, right? And I mean, starting off strong is Deep will collect one from below. We had seen the Valkyrie that was playing underneath the site, and make no mistake about it, that is a successful C4. Alfama could potentially be left twisting in the wind just by Master Bedroom and Penthouse here, as he's got a number of holes to look through. He doesn't need one. There's it's a doorway that will end up being Kendrew's biggest adversary. Alfama collecting a kill to try and put this back on closer numbers, but won't be able to collect a second as Deep lurking over by Hookah, trying to get back to sight. Hicks with the bearing out, cannot contend with that long range, and as noted, it was the ACOG that comes in clutch here as Magic will grab the round for PACT, and that will be PACT's first lead of the game, 4-3.
A great setup from PACT. LeStream, just something that they were not ready for. I'm still concerned with the lack of ADSs being brought by the players of PACT, especially whenever we know Ying is a possibility that LeStream could go ahead and run, which can cause a lot of problems if those Candelas get in towards those very hard anchor positions that PACT are playing so well. Do see a bit of a change-up in terms of the attacking lineup. Not only is Blackbeard there for the first time, a very scary operator to play for a map like Coastline, which does have those long angles which lets you win those a lot easier, but then also some of those window plays can be very deadly for a Blackbeard, and even the capo being brought into the mix can be used to once again try and shut down any of those anchor positions, and also provides those asphyxiating bolts with the smoke attached, and those do not get affected by the ADSs, which thankfully PACT have brought this time, and they've kind of went away from that double French and instead have chosen the double C4 with the Valkyrie and the Pulse.
Curious to see what happens with the Blackbeard pick of Aces. Now, for those that have kept up with this team for any period of time, you'd know one of the best Blackbeards in EU and possibly even this entire competition used to be Renshiro. He no longer plays for the team, so Aces will have to come in. And I don't know, honestly, how well Blackbeard will suit Aces' style of play. Aces typically thrives in an area where he can be very mobile, where he can continuously try to engage multiple enemies. He's very good at being able to know where the next push is going to come from and being able to respond accordingly. I mean, with Blackbeard, you're going to likely be holding angles and just standing still, but there's different ways to play that Blackbeard operator. So I'm interested to see what happens here. But overall, LeStream 4-3 speeds, and well, the quickness is going to count as Uno already in the building inside of office. He'll down the pulse. That is a major operator from PACT that they will be without for the rest of the round. And almost a second there for Uno as he sees the hand of saves. It's going to light up the Echo, who retreats to Kitchen. About half of his life gone.
Yeah, you say, Parker, that there's not going to be, Uno on that more fragging role. You forget, they now have an Uno on their team who can completely fill that role to a T, that very aggressive operator, and he did prove that. However, a kill comes in from Alfama. I was expecting him to be more on the supportive role, but really this game, he has fragged a lot more than other players there like Rise or Hicks.
I mean, the way that we saw the kill there from Alfama was just at the delivery door. So likely taking out the Valkyrie, probably playing inside a bathroom. That's a bad spot possibly for Kendra to find himself, knowing that you're likely going to have somebody pushing from that area.
Bit more droning coming in, just making sure there's going to be no other lurkers in towards the top floor. And speaking of Aces, he gets himself that Blackbeard kill. So down to the two anchors going to be left. It will be Saves and it will be Deep. Alfama pushes on in. Saves gets one. Gas canisters tries to force out Alfama, which it does, and the push comes in from the players to collapse. And that will be all she wrote. As a great bit of teamwork from LeStream. They seen the opportunity. They said 1, 2, 3 push, and everybody from PACT fell.
And Ace is getting into the action there at the very end as the Blackbeard, the slow operator who's designed to do one thing and one thing alone most of the time, which is just anchor down an angle and hope that you win that fight, because you can usually absorb a couple.
Just hope somebody picks you.
Exactly, and I mean, how many times will you get shot? 2 times? And the Blackbeard shield will absorb both bullets, and he'll still end up winning that fight, so.
Yeah, this is where I start to worry. I said Magic was a player who can either have a really good game or can be non-existent. And at the moment, yeah, he's not looking the best. 2 kills to his name. Saves being really big for his team, and it will be another Kitchen, so they're going to try and work on their mistakes and try and fix anything that they did wrong, which was really, I would say, that kind of room game. They got picked off very early from, once again, the early aggression that LeStream have put on nearly every single round.
I think a big part of it is PACT anticipated that there would be a bigger focus on map control for Kitchen. Kitchen is a site that you're absolutely capable of rushing in and planting immediately. The amount of teams that have yinged or smoked off and pushed in through the delivery doors to get a plant within the first 40 seconds. It happens a little bit more often than you'd think, and especially on the most played site on Coastline. But
Attackers are heading out.
a lot of teams, instead of going for that, will try and take that map control above. As mentioned, possibly bring a Sledge, a Buck, a Zofia, a Jackal, etc. There was almost no map control there for LeStream. They pushed in through Office, they pushed in through Delivery, and they pushed in through Sunrise Bar. And that was it. They didn't even bother to worry about anything else. And PACT had no idea what to do. Second time will not be a charm, as that's LeStream getting aggressive and losing a first pick. This time, PACT is ready for it, though, and Kendra will pick up a second kill. Darius is there to take out Rise, and LeStream almost all dead. Oh, a miss! Darius not landing his shots. Deep will, though, and they'll leave Uno as the only member for LeStream. That is everybody on his team dead in 40 seconds, with Darius down for PACT and Kendra very, very low. They must know they've got Uno outside here. He'll play a game of cat or mouse. Misses the shots from the Valkyrie as saves, and Uno looking for the information to try and figure out exactly where he's going to be getting spotted from. He'll just slowly approach with the Yokai drone in front of him, treading water essentially, just waiting for the inevitable to look to give PACT the round lead.
Yeah, maybe he's just thinking about what way do I want to die? Do I want to run in through this door, or do I want to run in through that door? There's a lot of possibilities here for Uno. It seems to me he's just going to try and force his way in through the bathroom, try and get a couple of kills for himself. He has a minute 30 to do so, but really you can see the patience from PACT. They know this is something that you could throw because it's Uno at the end of the day. We know how well he can play in terms of his fragging potential, and PACT are playing it so safe, so slow. They know how much that they need this round to take that lead, gets them up 5 rounds to 4, only 2 more would then take them to that victory. And even if they take the one after to put them on match point, that's a lot of pressure on LeStream, who we kind of expected, yeah, that more attacking favoured team would do so much better on a map like Coastline, where, you don't need that hard breach. You can just force your way in with those fragging operators. Minute to go, and he's going to go back outside again.
Excellent trade potential here from PACT, though, right? There's only limited ways in towards the site. You got 4 bodies left from PACT. They're going to hold down every single one. And very wisely, they're not provoking any engagements at all. Say hello and say goodbye for Uno, threading that needle. He's going to try to draw out the Valkyrie. And as I said, no trade potential whatsoever on Uno's side of things. PACT didn't have it either, but it's the smoke playing just by the bomb. He'll get the shot needed. There wasn't that much left. PACT back with the lead.
I'm actually quite happy that he decided to take his time, because then we wouldn't have seen that glorious kill by Uno. I'm still thinking about, why did we see the Blackbeard rush in and 20 seconds into the round? I'm still very much trying to figure that out as much as I can, because I was like, hold on a minute, is that a Blackbeard who's tried to rush his way in through security? Yeah, it's a bit questionable there. If you're going to play the Blackbeard, like you said, play it slow, play it patient. He was doing that, and he was getting kills with it. That time he just completely threw the rulebook out the window. So maybe if he wants to play that more aggressive operator, Ash is there. Of course, you can maybe play more of a 2-speed like Zofia, who have that great fragging potential, also has a utility available for herself. So there's a couple of ways that maybe LeStream could work around that. I think they're trying to force their way into the building in general too much as they want to. They're trying to rush that, and finally PACT have caught on that realized, oh yeah, let's just hold an angle and wait for them to run at us.
I'm actually kind of surprised at how little Zofia that we've seen. I wonder how much of it is because that she's changed in her abilities now. Obviously losing that 1 concussive mine, she used to have 4, now she's down to 2. Maybe teams are just reacting accordingly, and because we are on an older patch, we're gonna see some strategies being brought in, right? Because a lot of these teams are prepared for Pro League. It's gonna be a very different game. You're gonna have 2 new operators to deal with. Lion is perma-banned, so you've got more flexibility in the way that you can ban on attack here. So that could possibly be the reason why we're seeing a lot less Zofia, but I am a little interested by that. So anyway, tactical timeout being taken by LeStream. Let them regroup here, and they are not facing match point because keep in mind the parameters have changed. So almost match point for PACT, but not quite there yet.
But still a very concerning scoreline. You're already in the thick of it. You're very much into the groove of things inside of Coastline. You have already went 9 rounds. This is your 10th. I know that you discussed about, teams are more prepping for Pro League next week, which we know LeStream is inside Pro League. PACT have nothing really to play for at the moment until Challenger League season starts up again, so really PACT can go all in with their strategies. They can do whatever they want to make sure they can try and take this win, and that's what they're trying to do. That's a very complicated strategy that we've seen from that penthouse. That, yeah, maybe if they have something to play for, if they were in Pro League next week, then maybe they wouldn't show that strategy. But since they are not, then, yeah, they're just going to go straight in and work with what they have.
It's a good opportunity for LeStream to really try to iron out the issues they have as well. Zeronic noted before the match began, it's only been a couple days that this new roster here for LeStream has had to gel with one another.
First LAN event.
First LAN event, it's their first match as well with this roster. This is their first official match, and we're going to be seeing a lot of them. They can still compete in the French Cups because they do have 2 French players and obviously the Belgian player of Rise. And speaking of, also playing the Zofia that I had mentioned we haven't seen very much of, and well, we're still not going to see very much of it as he's the very first kill once again. Charging into the building. I don't know if there was just no information there whatsoever, but PACT will grab the very first kill of the round, and that is very good in terms of being able to give themselves a bit of distance between LeStream, as we're staring down match point here for PACT if they pull off a win.
And even whenever that was of not just a fragging operator, but the utility. She could have been used to open up some sightlines from above, gets the concussion mines in for that final push, can be very devastating, especially if LeStream, the way they're set up, is going to be trying to take that. And once again, Uno with another tap fire kill. Lands him that double for Uno, the IQ, and he's going to be inside the bomb site as well. On top of that, just rolls with it, and inside the bomb site he goes. But the teammate that tried to push in with him to potentially try and force their way in and go for a plant will be eliminated by the smoke. This is very scary territory for Uno, because once again, the sightlines are going to be opened up from above. And even the blue stairs is going to be an option for a potential flank rotate for the players of PACT. But a minute to 30, the Toxic Babe starts to get planned out. Uno pushes in another kill for him, a free K. Potentially on for the ace, certainly could be on for the ace. A 4th for him. Last man up to try and stop this. Kendrew, can you deny the ace away from Uno? Yes, you can. You eliminate him, but still 2 more to find. Valkyrie behind the sunrise bar, a minute to go, plenty of time for LeStream. More shots rattle out from Kendra. Another player inside the bomb site he has to deal with, and it will be aces. Another fragger for LeStream. Flashbang gets in it, lands at target, and well, Kendra in such an awkward position. Wow, wow, wow. Uno, can he be stopped?
I mean, Uno can. Kendrew can as well. Aces, the good recovery there. So close. And one thing that is most impressive to me about Uno is a year ago, he was known as a console player. He made that transition and has such graceful aim. And I mean, the game plays a little bit differently, whether you're on Xbox, whether you're on PlayStation, whether you're playing it on PC, that's fine. But the adjustment to go from playing with a controller to a mouse and keyboard is entirely different. They play so very different. Yeah, exactly. And it's the amount of players who have made the transition successfully is incredible. You know, you look at the team that was known as Elevate, became Counterlogic, broke apart, and all the different players have gone elsewhere. You know, you look at the team that was known as Infamy, now once again, a lot of those players breaking apart. You look at Vitality and Supremacy as well, those rosters there in Europe. It's crazy how well these players have adjusted. Uno in particular, incredible positioning there, great reaction time, excellent aim, and almost single-handedly wins that round for his team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last season of NA Pro League, 7 out of the 8 NA teams had a person who was from Xbox.
That is correct.
I believe easily called it the Xbox takeover.
Yeah, so it was SK Gaming, now known as Dark Zero, making their entry into the Siege scene just a couple days ago, for those that are unfamiliar. But it was the roster that was known as SK Gaming, now Dark Zero. No console players, and yeah, the Xbox takeover is advancing quite well. Though I would need to say, because
10 seconds left before insertion.
I want to say that there is on Accelerate, the new team in NA Pro League. I do want to say that there's a former console player on that, but I don't want to be certain. I don't want to say that because I'm not certain. Anyway, there is no match point, but there will be after this round. As we are on the precipice, round number 11, staring down the probable barrel of overtime with the way these teams have played here.
So it will be, once again, another bomb site that PACT will be going for, and it's going to be one of those old favorites. that Penthouse and Fate are going to be chosen. Last time they had a very complicated setup, and seems to be they're going to try and opt for it once again, playing those heavy angles. They have given up control off Aquarium, so it kind of gives Aces a more long angle position to play. You can try and shoot over towards the luggage, in towards VIP. You can play very aggressive in towards that main hallway. Uno, he's going to be below, so that kind of signifies that maybe he's going to go below and try and get rid of any equipment from below. Of course, that destructibility, if there was an echo being brought by PACT, potentially he's looking for Black Eyes in and about the bomb site, which will make their plant a lot easier to be implemented. Alfama also has those capo bolts, which can be very, very good for eliminating anybody behind that Fater, a very common position for a lot of anchors to play in. Looking at it, LeStream, they've completely sacked off, going towards that main VIP area. Instead, the backside will be where they want to try and target, pushing in towards the main stairs and then up right on through towards the Fater. As Ace is going to put a lot of pressure, of course, and because that hole is open, it basically gives the players off LeStream a free entry into the bomb site. First blood will go in favor of LeStream, but no, the return frag comes on in and saves with that long angle on the UMP, takes out Aces.
It was an unadvisable peek there from Aces at the exact moment, and set himself up in a position now where his teammate might also be falling prey to this positioning from PACT, as Kendrew just awaiting Rise through the rotate hole, and of course that shotgun is almost certainly going to win. Don't get me wrong, C70 is great, but at range, shotgun's gonna blow you to pieces. A lot of patience here though, as Rise has backed off before coming back in. Kendrew, maybe a bit of a mistake. He'll switch to the SMG-11 and has a peak opportunity as Rise is repositioned. Ignoring that castle barricade on the double doors, it's gonna be the IQ working in, but it's a double play from PACT. The saves and deep is there, but Rise with two of his own. The shotgun of Kendrew finds Hicks, and Rise now will need to fetch that diffuser and play against a Smoke, who will have all the advantages in the world. But it'll be Darius there instead on another angle, that MP5 at such long range, as he rotates through Hall of Fame and sees the head of Rise for a second. It's going to be match point in favor of PACT.
So this is something that we were not expecting. Sure, PACT, they had a good run on their attacks. Whenever we thought going into the defensive rounds, yeah, they might struggle because LeStream are so aggressive in their attacking play, but thankfully PACT, they have the perfect setup. They know how to play aggressively. I believe the smoke pick on a player like Kendrew, who's very smart, very versatile with his gun skill. And even, you know, you have Sieve. Sieve has been so big at the moment. Can we see the scoreboard potentially, just how many kills he has? 14 kills for Sieve, 11 and 11 for Kendrew and Deep. Three players really stepping up for PACT whenever they need to be, and because of that, it's put them on match points. So all the pressure on LeStream. If they lose this round, they lose the map, and then we go into the border, which, like we said, is a 50-50, and we don't really know where that could lead.
Those kills that you see is the game has been getting, or rather the matches have been getting longer due to the way that things are changed. You know, if you recall, it was shorter until they decided to change it to 5 attack, 5 defense, and now it's 6 attack and 6 defense. I mean, this 6-5 scoreline you almost only saw when it would go to overtime, and then we would regard it as being a very long match. These games where people are breaking double digits are going to be happening with greater occurrence because of the fact that you're just playing so many more rounds, and I think there's going to be fatigue that sets in definitely, especially consider the way that this works. The majors that will be best of 5s.
I don't want to play that.
12 rounds, best of 5s with unlimited overtime in the grand finals. You could be looking at a day's worth of one match. I mean, it's great for the game and incredibly exciting for the viewers. And it's even better for the stat lines of the fraggers on the teams because they're going to be breaking previous records in the amount of kills.
Not so good for you.
Well, I mean, I enjoy it. You got to be limber. You got to drink energy drinks and coffee, and you just got to be into it and get a good night's sleep, kids.
Coffee with soy milk, yeah?
I have been straying away from regular milk. That is correct, Harry. I did have soy milk in my coffee today. So, and you know what? It was delicious.
Feels good.
It was great. Match point here in favor of PACT. The Polish plus the one Brit up against the mixed European team of LeStream. And LeStream's very first match could end up being a loss for them as it's been very slow, but Aces reunited with the Ash. The second round here. Goodbye to saves. One of PACT's best players so far over this contest, and a Doc, a very crucial operator to have, especially in the final minute of a round to keep your team fighting fit.
Another nail in the coffin that is ever so closing for this round for PACT. Uno trying to see if he can pick up anything just from those angles. He's very fond of the proning and it works for him once again. 2 versus 5, PACT definitely in the thick of it, and even Legion has been down in the mix, trying to fight against Aces, so all hopes lies on the Jaeger, and a 1v5 in this scenario. Flank rotation being held, and just like that, one of the quickest rounds we've seen goes in favor of LeStream, and that will take us to overtime.
It was shaping up to be the slowest round, and you could feel it, the patience that these teams were playing, but I think LeStream Red Kitchen exactly the same this time as we saw from the last time that they won it quite well, which is, hey, all we need to do is push the site and we're gonna walk away with a win here, and that's exactly what happened. They read that the pressure that was going to be applied on the site would overwhelm PACT, and it was the right call, I think, to make. So whoever made that on LeStream's side of things, well, ended up being a pretty smart choice. Now we have overtime. Now keep in mind, this was PACT's map, so they get to pick which side they go to in overtime. I speculated that it might be attack because the attackers are typically favored. But PACT is going to go on defense twice, which is very interesting to see. And if you look back, both of these sides split 3-3. There was no better attacker or defender this time around.
But looking at it, I would say that PACT look a lot more stronger on their defense compared to what they did on their attack for the most part. And you can kind of see with the setup they have their defender strategies locked down a lot more than they did their attacks, because really on attack, you have to play towards what the defense do, or as defenders, you get to dictate to the attackers, and maybe PACT want to play it in that playstyle. And once again, this very elaborate hold that they went for time and time again will be brought out for the potential final last time inside of Coastline. That castle barricade on DJ booth, I'm not really a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of castle barricades on windows that can be destroyed from outside. You can send an Ash launcher to get rid of that from outside at putting yourself at no risk. That's a bit of a concern for me. I never really like teams who go for that kind of line of play, especially whenever PACT know that Aces is on that Ash.
Yeah, I mean, you've got tons of tools at your disposal here on the attacking side of things, but LeStream really have only been bringing that Ash as your soft destruction, right? There's been an absence of Buck, there's been no Sledge. We saw Zofia once, it was an experiment that Rise used before dying early, he switched off to the Jackal, which has been a better choice on his side of things. And yeah, you've really only got those breaching rounds from Ash for the soft destruction. Darius will eliminate Rise and get traded off immediately by the Capital of Alfama, watching from above, and there was that soft hole that was created. LeStream will take full advantage of that. You still got the Rook of Magic that can take the long-range fights on PACT, but there is a startling amount of firepower that is remaining for LeStream, even losing the Jackal. You've still got Alfama holding those smokes too, so losing that Jackal really was not a crucial blow.
Aces spots out a Black Eye inside a Hall of Fame. Could have been used to relay information for that kind of final push if LeStream wanted to try and drop the hatch in the final dying seconds. That could have been a very clutch Valkyrie camera. Alfama has got himself inside of the bathroom of death. Of course, those gas canisters can really kill anybody inside of that vicinity. And these asphyxiating bolts is where things get interesting. You can deny access to anybody inside of the back of theater, but Uno will try and do that himself as he gets one, but no, Saves has the refrag onto him, tap firing through those smoke arrows, but no, nothing comes off it. That's where Capo comes in so big, and even with the Para can do a lot of damage as another player for PACT will fall. Kendry off the board, and plant has been initiated. More shots rattle back and forth as Aces tries to deny. Darius trying to rotate on in. Saves still there. Deep eliminates one. Alfama falls, and Save gets the freest kill of the match onto Aces 2 versus 1. Down to Hicks inside of bathroom. Saves season, and he gets that kill for himself. And the diffuser will be picked up by PACT. And well, that was a great retake from them. LeStream looked set to take them to that match point, but no. Like you say, the Polish and the single Brit take the rounds.
So you could employ a pun there and say that he saves the day.
Wow, not that bad. I'm not you. I only do M&M puns.
That's
you didn't get to see.
We will forever be deprived of that.
Yes. Well, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe see them again. Excellent round overall by PACT. That was a great retake and a tough retake, to be completely honest. Doing it at long range, competing against ACOGs. More than anything, it was a sloppy hold from LeStream. They had the perfect opportunity to lock down that site. You need to control 2 doorways. That's really all you needed to do, and they couldn't do that. There were no eyes on Penthouse, and when the rotate came in from the attackers to try and cover Penthouse, it was too late, and then you left the Bearing 9 in the hands of Hicks. Quite proficient, you can take that fight at short range and bathroom, but that was a big issue there. After it was a really good entry from LeStream as well. They got map control pretty fast, they were able to get the plant down. The post plant from PACT did not look like that's what they had set themselves up for. Now it's very easy to say, oh, that was excellent from the way that the attackers were able to get in and get that plant down. But PACT did not look like they were set up for a retake. It looked like they won it off of good gunplay in a scenario in which the post plant should have strongly favored LeStream.
So moving into our potential final round for PACT and LeStream for Coastline. It will be PACT on the attack and then LeStream on the defense. This will be the only attacking round for PACT and LeStream, the only defense for them. And it will be that Penthouse and Fear going for the bomb site that we said we weren't going to expect. We've seen this quite numerous times from not just PACT, but also from LeStream. They've both favored this bomb site. Of course, PACT had more of the elaborate hole. LeStream are playing a lot more adaptable. They're a lot more flexible in the positions they play. They can rotate around a lot more safer than really what PACT could, because PACT are opening up all of these different holes, but then again, they can be used against you like we have seen. That's what LeStream took advantage of, was these holes being made. And perfect example was Alfama on the roof. The hole was being made so somebody from Builders could hold a VIP. That was used against them in that scenario.
Yeah, that was the opening kill, actually. That helped with the trade-off on Rise, which gave them the ability to get back onto even footing here. And when you look at a map like Coastline, with both of the way these teams have been playing it, flank watch is an incredibly vital part of their strategy, because both teams have been using late flanks on their advantage on defense. So this time around, it's going to have to be flank watch in PACT's hands, as we are on match point, with PACT sitting at 7-6, a scoreline that you might see a lot more of over the coming months. This is the new rule set that we are playing under. PACT trying to take control from the top floor outside of the building. Now, both teams, interestingly, on their defensive rounds, have opted to go to Penthouse Theater. So the one site that we haven't seen that much play, especially lacking Amira and Maestro on defense, will come in here in the clutch. Both teams possibly relying on this site to try and save it for them.
Looking at the setup from PACT, they are more rotating their way over towards the VIP, trying to push their way in through that more common position that we see so many times. And LeStream, they have put majority of their resources over towards the east side of the building, down below. They don't have too many C4s apart from one, so they really need to make that count. We've seen them pick double, Pulse and Valkyrie. Valkyrie, speaking about her off the board, Caster's Curse, what can you say?
It's Rise there with the trade, though. The MP5 onto Dariush, taking out the Maverick. This double hard breacher setup that we've seen from PACT, I don't know if the Thermite has been quite as successful as we have seen from the Maverick. The Maverick has actually been quite a good pickup, as Hicks is there to take out saves. These ACOGs getting put to good use. Lots of shots being missed from Rise. Kendrew taking out aces, traded off to Alpha Mo, takes down deep. Push from the Hibana will bear no fruit. It's a 3v1. Kendrew, completely disoriented from the Yokai burst, finds Hicks after the drone is able to knock some sense into Kendrew. Kendrew finds the kill onto the Echo, but he's got 10 seconds left, still being pinged away, and one thing that has been unattainable for PACT is holding onto the diffuser and getting a plant down, and it looks like it might happen yet again. 5 seconds left. Kendrew being alerted to Rise by the hit in the goo mine, and Rise just pops up and down goes Kendrew, and we are going to go the full distance to round number 15.
First round number 15, entirety of Siege.
There you go.
Feels good. So, yeah, that's going to go us all the way, the whole distance. Final round of Coastline will be decided here and now, and it will be PACT on that favorable defense that they have liked so much. And then on the attack, LeStream, what can they do differently than what they have done every single time? Do they need to have more aggression and really try and get the refrags a lot quicker than what the players of PACT have been doing? Or is this the moment where finally we see LeStream take it slow for a change and maybe try and play it a lot more strategical than what we have seen them do time and time again. PACT, they have their kitchen ready and locked in. They have a very versatile setup. They have C4s that could potentially be used against the sledge, which is going to be, you know, the first time we're seeing one of those. That's going to be a big telltale sign that, yeah, they're actually going to play a lot more slower, try and control upstairs, get the sledgehammer in, get the breaches in, and then try and pick off everybody just from the bomb site, rather than this very aggressive run and gun play style where LeStream have seen, okay, there's only one person inside of the bomb site, let's just run in and try and take that fight and overwhelm, and that has worked for them in the past, but because we're seeing now a lot of distraction brought in from PACT, they have the Toxic Babes, they have the Goo Mines, and the Echo Drone. I'm sure they will be ready for it this time. So this one can really go either way. It's all about LeStream. How can they play? Are they going to go for the same old silly, aggressive push, or will this time they finally actually drone, which is something that they haven't been doing?
I mean, if you look at the last couple defenses here, as you noted on PACT, the kitchen has not been a strong suit for them, and they played out very similarly. Now, the one aggressive play from LSE did get caught, but that was it. The other two opportunities for LSE worked very, very well. They made one change. Uno's going to be on the sledge. You've put Rise on the IQ. Kendrick's going to try to lock things down here as you've got Deep on the roaming role with Magic playing on the Valkyrie. So both teams are going to go for something a little bit different. And oh no, Uno sees the smoke, and Deep, what a mistake. All it takes is that sledgehammer opening up a tiny part of the floor, and you've lost your best, or at least second best, plant denial in the hands of the smoke, putting a lot of pressure on the Echo, but LeStream in the driver's seat as Aces will grow the lead for his team into a 5v3. He takes out the Jaeger, Darius.
Now this is certainly a different LeStream than what we have seen. Sure, they're still playing aggressive, but in a more of a dominating fashion where they are always going to have that advantage with that ceiling, you know, the ceiling being opened up. It's a lot harder to shoot back and shoot up compared to shooting down onto somebody. Save's just dancing around with death at the moment. Anybody could just peek that and see a very free kill onto an Echo who isn't that fast, can't run away as quickly as a potential 2-speed or 3-speed could, and Kendrew almost nearly gets shot by the bullets, but no, Claymore comes in, eliminates the Legion, and really from this place you would expect LeStream to take the round win and take the match win as well.
I was going to say that there's still tons of denial here for PACT, but everything is falling to pieces. Magic onto Uno, will peek the corner, and he will find the sledge. But you're looking at impactless frags as it's a 1v4 and Diffuser going down successfully. Magic doesn't have time on his side, and there's a reinforced bathroom wall that will end up being his undoing. Successfully Diffuser planted for LeStream as they look to regain the lead. They haven't held it for quite a while. It's been all PACT all the time. And well, there's Magic. Oh! Easy to Claymore at the last second, and Alfama will be credited with that kill.